What's going on, Macro Perspective peeps? It's Seamus here and Marcos as well. We've got an amazing guest, but before we get to that, I'd love to ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this one for sure. Share this podcast because we got to get this message out there today for our guest. We got to do a few things and really get him to a place. And today I want to introduce you guys to Kevin Crane. He represents America, USA Grappling and Jiu-Jitsu. I remember meeting Kevin 2-3 years ago when my professor Eric Medina were both on the team together when they were doing the tryouts for USA Grappling. I remember your match, Kevin, 2020, right there in Los Angeles, downtown. Straight up, you doubled this guy, doubled him so hard. In less than 7 seconds, he tapped. He didn't even tap to a submission. He just tapped at a double. I remember shaking your hand. I was like, dude, great match. And you're like, he can't mess with the Crane train, baby. He can't mess with the Crane train. And I just loved your personality since then. But would you mind, introducing yourself to the audience, what you're up to now, and what's some of your goals in jits, my man?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, my name's Kevin Crane. I'm a professional mixed martial artist and professional grappler. I'm on Team USA getting ready for the third year in a row in the World Championships. This year it's being held in Warsaw, Poland at the end of August. And yeah, I'm just on a mission to help everybody across the planet show them what's possible when they bend, but never break and never give up on their dreams. And I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict, and both my parents are deceased. They died from the disease, drugs, and alcoholism. So I'm just here to help inspire and motivate the world and make health and fitness the main priority and main objective while I'm alive.
Love it. So, or my first question, just right off the gate, so how long you been doing mixed martial arts? Has it been like a lifelong journey, or is it something that you found in like your road to recovery? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I grew up as a huge like Stone Cold and The Rock and pro wrestling fan. So I actually broke
Okay.
two of my mom's mattresses by just sitting there for hours slamming the teddy bear over and over again. Just kind of lost in that little kid visualization and imagination, creative state. And then I got into my uncle who raised me, put me in baseball, basketball, football to keep me out of trouble. And football was always my strong suit growing up. And then in the off season of high school football, I got into the Jiu-Jitsu Academy under my professor Fabio Leopoldo, just to stay out of trouble and stay in shape. And Chuck Liddell at the time, when I first started watching UFC around 2005 and six, was like the champion of the world. And I thought to myself, oh, I could do that and probably be better than him. And he's from the same hometown as me. So I started with Jiu-Jitsu knowing that it takes 10 years to master, and I always grew up like punching kids, getting in street fights. So I've kind of gravitated more towards the culture of grappling and jujitsu rather than MMA. And yeah, now here I am on Team USA, get to represent the entire country overseas, and it's really a dream come true.
Man, so I mean, I guess my first question is like, if this is, would you consider this like an actual career or a passion project? Because I feel like a lot of the representative people of our nation don't make a lot of money per se when it comes to like their specific sport.
Yeah, last year I didn't. Yeah, there was no purse or prize money for receiving for winning that gold medal, but I brought it back to my uncle, who's dying now, and it was the greatest moment of my entire life to get to put that gold medal around his neck because he's suffering from anxiety and depression. Didn't eat for like 2 weeks, hasn't showered for almost 2 years, just really bad state. Like he even can't even get up and walk as of this week. I called the ambulance earlier this week and tried to get him to go to the hospital just to get an IV in because he was so dehydrated and malnourished, but he's just really content with dying at home and really giving up. So to bring that gold medal back last year after being 3 months sober, of quit smoking and no alcohol, and just on a mission to transform my life, all the negatives to positives. That was the greatest moment of my life, getting to put that gold medal around his neck while he's still here in the physical flesh form. So it's definitely a
Absolutely.
passion
Yeah.
passion project. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's thank you for sharing that. I know I've been following your story since I got to meet you, and I resonate a lot with that because I wrestled all the way to college and do jits now, and there was no when I was wrestling transferring from high school to wrestling in college. They're like 2013. They're like, oh, we're taking wrestling out of the Olympics, and I'm like, how are you taking like the oldest sport known to man, mano y mano, out, you know, and they have to reinstate it and stuff. And, my scholarships going in, it just seems like the sports that are combat sports, there's so much like, it just seems so like no one cares about us, like we got to find our own way. We got to fund our way there. I remember going to nationals in Texas when I wrestled, and like I had to figure out how to get that purse. I had to figure out like, yo, guys, I need to GoFundMe. And, all my family helped me out, all this, but it's like, it's not like the other sports where, you know, everyone get, it's hard. It's a hard, I mean, every sport has an ask, right? Like parents' time, family's time, but I get it. And man, to put that gold medal around your uncle, with all that, with all the financial struggles, with all the lifestyle struggles, to go through depression, anxiety, alcoholism, all that, like it just comes to show how much you had to like to overcome, dude. So, dude, power to you, man. It's just a freaking yeah, it's a freaking thing, man, dude. Thank you for killing it, dude. Inspiration to a lot of people.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. I'm just so blessed and honored that God gave me these physical ability and mental and now spiritual to overcome all the demons that I've faced and all the adversity and trials and tribulations. And I notice now that I've got to this place in my life how many people are reaching out to me for help mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and to start to finally give back. I turned 28 last year right before the World Championships, and I know I'm coming into like the fifth chapter of my life where it's finally life starting to finally come full circle, and I can start to give back and help everyone around me just raise their frequency. Yeah.
Man, yeah, like so many people that come on here have that sort of thing about like that resonation and frequency and putting the pieces together of like this puzzle that is life, and everybody's journey, whether it's like a kind of like an underdog story or a level of perseverance or whatever it is, it's like again part of like the human experience and um hell, like even somebody that we're being drawn to right now is he's doing things that I know are uncomfortable because I do them as well. And it's a very hard ask to like get in front of camera and try to like articulate a message or a story, especially with something that you like suffer with. So like, if there are people reaching out to you, like that's amazing and probably just like keeping that like blessing cup filled for you, I would have to imagine, right?
Yeah, every time I make a post that's very transparent, honest, and vulnerable, I get the most uh, I get the most feedback. It takes me to be in a high frequency state, just running 10 miles in the hottest part of the day, fasted to get to that level of confidence and courage to open up. And as soon as I do, I have people that feed off that energy because that positive energy is contagious, and they respond with some trauma or something that they're going through that they see me confident enough to talk about, and it feels them makes them comfortable enough to share it with me.
Man, yeah, that it's funny because you just said like your flow state happens when you're persevering through like really difficult things. And I'm assuming you don't walk around at like 84 kilos, do you?
No, I did last summer. Last summer I was walking around the 170s, pretty lean, but this year I'm much bigger going into the tournament. I'm around 90 kilos. Yeah.
So are you
Yeah.
cutting to that weight class or are you doing at a higher class this year?
No, yeah, I'm staying at 84 kilogram. The trials this year were day before weigh-in, so I was able to get back up to 197 the next
Perfect.
day, and felt like a monster out there on the mat. And
That
as
must have
soon
been
as
a
I got
great rehydration protocol.
Yeah, rehydrated. Overate a little too much lasagna. I should have stuck with just the white rice and sweet potato. but my friend I was staying with made some lasagna, and growing up in a poverty, scarcity like mindset household, I couldn't waste the lasagna, so I had to eat the rest of it. But this year I'm gonna be fully dialed in and locked in. Yeah, I'm gonna start going carnivore and animal based diet, just fruit and meat after I win this weekend. I have the ADCC Open in Arizona this weekend, and the open weight has a cash prize. So I'll be doing 91 kilograms and mainly focusing on the absolute division. And then after that, I'll have 2 to 2.5 weeks to cut the 10 to 15 pounds just through intermittent fasting and carnivore and animal based diet.
That's
So no macros, just straight up just like satiation, and like what does that protocol look like for that weight cut, like
Yeah,
calorically?
yeah. Last year I was like still eating dessert at night, or like having like a bagel with Nutella, not staying as disciplined, as the year before. And then I realized I was 197 about 2 weeks before, which I'm walking around the same weight now. And as soon as 2 weeks it gets 2 weeks till competition, then I really realize I'm running out of time. And I was just fasting all day and doing the warrior diet, having one meal, big ribeye steak and like 11 eggs for good luck. And then in Spain, I was in Vigo, Spain, which is the west coast, and there were statues of octopus everywhere. And I started eating octopus because it has no carbohydrates, no fat really, and I never felt more powerful from the spiritual power from the octopus and just the superfood. It makes you like a superhuman. They have like 9 brains, 3 hearts. So I'm not sure how my diet will be in Poland, but I've gotten super into the fasting the last couple of years. So I'm not too worried about making the weight. I'll just do a 72-hour fast if I have to and get all the health benefits of that while cleaning out my system. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna yeah, be bigger, faster, and stronger than ever before at this weight class.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's so funny that you bring this up because I have the same story. I mean, growing up in the fighting culture, MMA, jiu-jitsu, wrestling guys, it's like everyone has that story of like, hey, how do you make weight? What's your protocol, right, for like weight cutting? And like, I wrestled at 62s all 4 years of high school. Then I wrestled all 65s in college. I was the same weight basically, but I got my weight cutting protocol down in college because strength and conditioning was a lot better. There was a nutrition person really covering me. It really was a lot better. But dude, it's so easy to have like what we quote unquote called like disordered eating, or like even like a eating disorder. Sometimes, but people realize like it's for a goal. Like you're not, eating nothing for 2 weeks or managing your weight because like no, you're trying to win a goddamn gold medal. Like I'm out here trying to do this. I got to do what I got to do, and it seems like you're pretty dialed in. But how do you feel like a lot of it deals with your performance? Because I know, I mean, being a professional and stuff like that, you're probably doing like 2, 3 sessions a day kind of thing. Like, how does your day to day look like, making sure that like, hey, you are fueled for your technique work, right? Situationals, and then you are good for your live rounds. Like, how do you stay in such a good mindset even when calories are low and it's almost go time? You're 2 weeks out. Like, how do you dial that in?
Yeah, it's fascinating because I've been trying. I did the ultra marathon, the 100 miles, 2 years ago. So that's a eating and a hydration contest more so than a running, because obviously you don't want to fall behind on your hydration or nutrition, otherwise you bonk and you give up. So I've been doing just like bananas, dates, and honey in between training sessions because I'm training up to 3 to 4 times a day, plus 30-minute sauna, 5-minute cold plunge, and a lot of long runs, 7 to 15 mile runs. But for me, like last Wednesday, I did 4 trainings fasted, and I never felt better in my entire life than that fourth training. I was more fatigued uh, than I would have been if I had some honey and dates and bananas to refuel my glycogen. But something about the fasting, the mental clarity, and being able to get in a flow state, and I got like emotional on that fourth training. I had bananas in my car, and I was like, oh, maybe I should eat a couple of these bananas so I'm refueled after the third training. But not eating those bananas and doing that fourth training last Wednesday was one of the greatest days of my life. The energy and the mental clarity and just is incredible when you're competing or training fasted. I won the world team trials this year fasted, and I had 4 hours in between my first and second match, which was we're so subconsciously programmed just to eat all the time, right? And to not have any fruit or like honey or anything in between that first and second match was a struggle in its own. But I was on fire. I didn't even get out of breath in both the matches. I was so in tune with my heart rate and my breathing. I didn't even sweat. I was just on a new level. Like between
Yeah,
all the sauna and breath work I've been doing, I really could see I could see all the hard work starting to pay off in that last competition.
It's
dude.
wild.
That's why I love that for you because like I feel the same way. Like how do you shine under the bright lights, right? When everything's been against you, you have no fuel, you have no fuel in your system. What energy are you taking in? And I mean, I've been there, man. Cutting, my biggest cut was probably 20 pounds in 3 days. For me, as a high schooler, it was really difficult. And then I had to represent Team California for freestyle and Greco. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. But showed up, threw kids around, threw some kids around, got hurt a little bit, but it is what it is. And it's just, it's a different ball game. And I think you showing that to the audience of going like, I got no food in me. I haven't had food, but I'm on my fourth match. I'm on my fourth practice and I'm killing it. That's just invigorating to me. I'm feeling like I'm ready to like go out there and go choke some people out myself.
Not me. I don't do those things. I feel like I would like it too much and hurt myself. So I'll let you guys soak it all up for for today. Um, I'm curious though, like in the like hydration piece. So like obviously like you're fasted, like so water only or using electrolytes. Like what does that entail for you,
Yeah,
given like sweat rate and whatnot?
yeah, I was using a lot of electrolytes, like 4 to 6 packets a day, trying to find some without sugar, obviously, so I can continue on the fast. Yeah, and adding Himalayan pink sea salt to my water. And yeah, the electrolytes are very important when you're
Yeah,
losing as much water as I am during these sessions.
yeah. I mean, put that in perspective. So are you using like LMNT? Or are you using just like noon tablets or salt like pills? Like what is their go-to at this point?
I did use the salt. I took a salt tablets every hour on the hour during the ultra marathon. I should probably get some more of those. Those are really effective. But yeah, the noons, I really like the noons. Those have like 4 carbohydrates, so those would technically trigger a metabolic response. But yeah, I found some at the dollar store instead of paying $10 for the liquid IVs that have refined sugar in it. I found some without sugar. I'm not even sure what brand they were, but I already went through all 60 of those, so definitely got to go get some more of those.
Yeah. I think it's interesting like the protocol that you create for yourself because you know that like again if you can tap into like that feeling and then knowing like confidence wise, yeah, this is me without any food essentially. Like you could do that whole competition theoretically and probably handle everybody that comes your way. But do you feel like your peak performance really is just in that like truly like fastest state second match that you talked about, or do you feel better with a little refueling? Like where do you or do you not really know? Is it does it not even matter?
The real answer is probably yeah, it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I had a couple dates in between every match. Last year when I won the world championships, just like 3 to 6 days, just to keep the glycogen at full capacity. But I think more important than anything is your mental state going into the match and being calm and in tune with your breath. They're just 5 minute matches, they're really quick. That one gentleman, Mike uh, Mike McKnight, he is one of the best ultra marathon runners in the world right now. He did 100 miles fasted with 0 calories to see what he was really made out of mentally. But yeah, it's uh, it's hard to figure it out. You keep competing, you keep winning and losing, and trying to just keep refining the protocol going into these matches. But definitely, yeah, I think fasted is the ultimate way, because you're like an animal in the wild. You're just hungry, you know. You gotta win. You gotta get that. You gotta get that meal. You gotta rip the guy's leg off or choke him. And
Yeah, that like sympathetic response essentially. Your fight or flight is like already like aroused essentially. You're ready to go, already heightened before like you like as you're stepping on the mat, you're like already primed. So I mean, yeah, even in some protocols, I remember one of my mentors talking about like you almost want to be a little hungry going into your sessions, and like yeah, you can leverage like a quicker digesting carb, you know, like dextrin, and like, you know, some whey protein isolate, and, you know, then see how you feel. And like, I mean, granted, that's like a common fueling strategy for people that might have more than 5 minutes of work, but yeah, in 5 minutes, like you just said, like it's, yeah, 3 to 6 dates. Like, what is that? All of, I mean, maybe 100 calories if on the top end with the six, right? And 50 to
yeah,
60.
yeah, yeah. Six
Yeah,
dates is
like,
like 100 calories, 30 carbohydrates.
yeah,
Yeah.
like wild. Like you're literally like, yeah, but when you say 5 minutes, then they're like, oh, okay, that does make sense. But like, I think from somebody else on the outside looking in, they'd be like, how is that enough? Like to like be able to top it off and like get to where you're at and again perform for a gold medal. Like that sounds bananas. You know, meanwhile, you look at like a games level CrossFit athlete, and it's like they need to smash Snickers bars in between their events, but like the work demand is definitely a little bit different. Um, and granted, someone else could literally hurt you and potentially kill you if they like, you know, throw you wrong. Granted, y'all are both at like the highest level of the sport, so I'm assuming that the safety is actually probably safer because you guys know what you're doing. You know how to escape, how to actually like maybe even know what they're doing before they've actually made the move, etc. Right?
Yeah. Kevin, you tapped on something there. I love what you said about the mindset. Like, what is your mindset going into match? I mean, man, it's something that I tell people, like, if you turn me on in terms of like match mindset, like there's no turning me off until like I complete the deed. You know what I'm saying? Like finish I have to finish this idea until it's done. Like either I choke out someone or I lose myself, and then like I can turn off. But what is like your mindset going into matches? Because I see your matches, man. And if anyone's watching this, I
Yeah,
mean, your matches are like some of the most exciting matches I've ever seen. I love this guy's style. Like he's just getting out there, doing some crazy escapes, getting some knee bars, doubles, like just the name of the game, like at a high pace. It definitely comes with a different mindset. Yeah, what is the mindset going in?
yeah. I've been doing those alpha male affirmations and the affirmations out loud. They change your body's cymatic frequency, so you're literally changing your cellular and molecular makeup when you do these affirmations out loud. And for me, the mindset has to be win or die. You know, once you're willing to die and to accomplish something, and you've made that affirmation and you're comfortable with death, I think the possibilities of are endless, and you become unstoppable. So I got on my knees, I prayed that I didn't hurt the other opponents, and I did one big exhale as hard as I could, blowing out every single piece of air inside of me, letting all the negative energy go. And on the inhale, I was just thinking abundance and positivity and love, and that I deserve to be, I am the world champion already. And now in this next 5 minutes, I'm going to prove it and make it a reality. And I made that documentary on the 100-mile run that I did. And it was titled 100 Miles or Die, because I was running around in the desert like a maniac yelling 100 miles or die for 34 hours straight all throughout the night. And you have all these like scientists and physicists and doctors taking part in the race as well, and they'll be in the pain cave, they'll be in this negative state where they're suffering, their legs are burning because they're so focused on the negative. Rather than me, I was smiling and channeling that inner child that doesn't care about anything besides the present moment and just lost in the love of it and the positivity. And it's powerful. It's like you're running and smiling, and your best trainings, my best competitions, my best fights are always when I'm in that positive elevated mindset of abundance, and rather than focusing on the negative and getting stuck in that negative state.
Yeah,
Dang.
positive, literally a positive feedback loop and manifesting that and curating that destiny. And like you're like, it's already written. Like the hard work is already done. Now it's just, you know, time to do the home run trot, so to speak, right? Like, but that's uh, that visualization. Like, you sound like, even from a young age, like you brought up the story about like slamming the teddy bear and like visualizing, like, stone. I'm assuming some Stone Cold and Stunners on that bad boy.
Yeah.
But like, like, have you always had that ability, or is it something that you like are practicing like equally as much as like your actual craft?
Yeah, I'm so fascinated by that quote. 90% of fighting is mental and only 10% physical. So why is 90% of the training physical and only 10% mental? And I'm trying to separate myself from everybody else in the jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts community. That's why I did the ultra marathon, because fatigue makes cowards of us all, and nothing's worse than uh, getting so gassed out when you can't defend yourself in fighting in front of the whole world in your underwear while another man's trying to kill you. So cardio is definitely one of my strong suits and something that I've always put a lot of emphasis on. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little lost here. Yeah, oh, the visualization. Someone just asked me this yesterday, and yeah, it's just been intuitive. Like, obviously, I had really good football coaches growing up, 7 to 12 years old, and I think they probably talked about like visualizing maybe the play before it happens. But ever even before I was put in team sports, just from growing up watching the Rocky Marathon when I was like 5, and then all the pro wrestling, I would just always visualize these scenarios in my mind of, overcoming adversity and these great comebacks from behind on points to winning, or making the buzzer beater basket out there shooting basketballs in my front yard by myself, because that's what the whole world wants to see, that hero's journey, of when everyone thinks
Hmm.
it's all over and you're the one person with the faith and the belief to never give up, and then you come from behind and win.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, dude, you're giving me chills right now because you see that often, and being from the wrestling world, like you see it when your teammate or the opposite team. It usually is like they usually say the person that gets the first takedown is the winner, right? And the second time that usually is the winner is one person if they're on bottom, their body language when you look at them put their head down on the mat and they just don't seem to be there no more, right? Like I do my best, like even if I'm losing, not to lose composure, not to lose composure, like put my head down, start acting all like, well, I lost. No, like that's not how. Even if you are losing, you still got to act like you're chasing the win, right? Um, and I've had matches where like, yeah, I was down on points. Next thing you know, I won because like I just kept that composure and belief in myself. To be quite honest with you, I think you might resonate with this. I mean, me and Marcus. You know what I hate? You know what feeling I hate the most? Like, I don't use the word hate as much, but like, I definitely hate this about myself and absolve and want to destroy this person in me is, when you're winning and then you stall to win because you're like, you're doing the match just to not lose. God, that hurts me so bad. I hate that when you're like, the coach will say stall, and like I just go like, no, I had to beat that out of me. Do you know what I'm saying, Kevin? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. First round, the guy thought I was a wrestler, and he pulled guard on me last year, the Polish gentleman, and I just pretended to win for the rest of the 4 minutes and stalled, pretended to pass the guard, and I was like, I came off the mat and was almost a little upset, like, oh, that was lame, I want to go out there and finish everyone, submit them, be entertaining, be decisive, and yeah, not just play the whole points game and strategy. And sure enough, yeah, uh, I wasn't too satisfied with that first 2 wins of last year's tournament, because I went up on points 2-0 right away and then just kind of played the game and pretended to pass, but I wasn't really giving it my all, like it was life or death to finish them.
Yeah, I hate that feeling because it's like, even though you had your hand raised, dude, I'm just shaking. Like, yeah, it's cool to win, but I'm like, I'm like, I scream because I'm kind of like, man, I hate that feeling of like, that's not how you should live your life. You need to be getting out there and getting after it. You can't just be like, let me just stall this. So, um, so with this being said, like, you got that ADCC, you got the Warsaw Poland going on. Tell us about that a little bit. What your thoughts are? What's some of the training looking like for that? And what you see for yourself, man.
Yeah, being the returning champion, obviously I have a target on my back, and the best part about it is that I'm training harder than I ever have in my entire life. 3 to 4 times a day, open water swimming in the ocean, added into my
Mm-hmm.
training regimen, along with these long runs, beach runs, barefoot, a lot of affirmations and grounding, barefoot on the beach, meditation, helping everyone else in the academy who has tournaments coming up, lower belts, white, blue, purple, brown, bringing them under my
Mm-hmm.
wing and showing them how doing these runs in the mountains, the trail runs, fasted during the hottest part of the day really took my career to the next level. And it's been a miraculous training camp and a miraculous summer, and seeing everyone get on that unstoppable frequency that I've been on for the last couple months has been incredible. My brother is a life coach and motivational speaker, and he started this brand Unstoppable 365 MFR. And since
Mm-hmm.
I started listening to him more and more, I've just hit a new level of in my growth mindset and my just evolution as a human being on this planet.
That's so cool. I mean, the unstoppable. That's your brother's like mindset and like company and coaching company and everything.
Yeah, yeah, it's his brand, and yeah, his coaching
Uh,
company. He's transforming men's lives all around the planet, helping them lose weight, helping them to quit drinking, preventing people from committing suicide. Like my father, might have committed suicide. He might have done that fentanyl on purpose during COVID. I never could find the truth to his death, whether or not it was accidental or on purpose. I think the in, the intuition in me says that he took his own life because he couldn't beat the depression and all the demons he had inside him. So if I can save one person's life while I'm here, then then my life is my mission is accomplished. But I want to save thousands, if not millions, of people's lives.
yeah. No, man, that's such a important message. I mean, nowadays it's so easy to get lost in the sauce, to say, right? To get lost in, I don't know, whatever addictions there are, right? Whether that's addiction to just the life that you're living of drugs, alcoholism, things like this, and all that, and even a life of comfort, right? A life of like, hey, let's just stay here and do this. What do you have to say about that? I know you yourself have dealt with that challenge and all that. What was it for you that was like, this has to stop, this needs to shift?
The self honesty, to thy own self be true. And when I was outside my boxing gym in the ghetto of Ventura on Ventura Avenue, and I'd be like taking bong hits, 20 bong hits a day of weed and tobacco, and I see these little kids coming from these poverty and terrible upbringings in the boxing gym out training me, I just felt like such a fraud. It was gonna get to the point to where I wanted to commit suicide because I was lying to myself and everyone else. So I just had to really start being honest with myself of how much more I can give, what I'm really capable of, and just breaking through that self-limiting belief of what's possible, which everything's possible. The word "I'm impossible" says it right in it. I'm possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
last like the full moons today and last night, I only trained twice yesterday. I've been battling this ear infection from the open water swimming. So being an extremist and an addict, I always have to battle the internal dialogue of did I train enough or am I overtraining? And last night, all I wanted to do was go run after coming home. And my uncle is still alive, barely alive, and watching him suffer is not it's not a coincidence that God's making this all happen where he might not make it till August 24th. So
Hmm.
if I need some type of motivation to keep training harder and to win, uh, God and the universe is bringing me nothing short of it with having my
Yeah.
watching my uncle suffer daily.
Yeah, he seems to be a really big part of your life, it seems.
Yeah, and back on the thing about the comfortability, in 2021, I had a beautiful studio with my ex-fiance and had $50,000 and was eating donuts every day, like just not. loving myself or respecting myself, or the fact that I was on Team USA about to go compete in Serbia and represent the entire country in the World Championships. And then last year I decided to put everything I own in my storage unit and make myself like homeless so I could get out of my comfort zone and start to travel and train and couch surf and do whatever I had to do to reach my highest potential as a human being and martial artist on this planet. And it turned out to be the greatest decision of my life. Talk about making a sacrifice of comfort. And sure enough, here I am now living in this shack in Ojai, taking care of my uncle, and there's like cockroaches in there, and it's like disgusting. And I could easily just be working a 9 to 5 and have a comfortable job and a comfortable, clean living situation, but that would be me giving up on my dream. So where I'm at right
Dude.
now is it's a very transitional moment
I,
in my life and a huge breakthroughs on the horizon.
yeah, I man, I appreciate the vulnerability and honesty there, because like a lot of people won't explain that. Like, I get it, man. Like the dream too was to perform at a high level, yada yada yada. But it's so appealing to have that. Like, hey, you get addicted to the drip of the every 2 weeks you get the paycheck, you got the salary, you got the health benefits, and you're like, you just get comfortable and you're like, I just like this, I want to keep this. And like, it's the truth. But the truth is, sometimes the highest performers, I know that like they love to live that quote unquote Spartan lifestyle where there's like, I don't know where the money is, don't show me, right? Put me in a shack, put me in something, and out of that you'll get the most out of me, you'll drip the juice out of me. And I'm the same way. Marcus and I are minimalist in a sense, or an essentialist. And for me, like, right, just to share, like, me and my lady were staying with her family, and like it's a great setup, but it hurts me in a way that's like, no, like, I'm playing comfortable, I need to make the financials to build my own home, to build my own wealth. And like, my arena now isn't like, Poland on the mats, but my arena is like, how do I develop value in a business, kind of like your brother with the coaching, so people get the value from me, but also at the same time, like, I get that financial, at the end of the day, not the comfort, but the like, hey, we're leveling up, right? We're leveling up a little bit. But man, that's a great mindset. I'm not so sure if everyone's like cut out for like, hey, put me back down so that I can become up. I can come up again.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you could say twisted in one way or fascinating in the other. But yeah, I prayed for God to give me the trials and the tribulations and the life, like a roller coaster type lifestyle, because I know once you get through those struggles, that you're just going to be 10 times stronger than you could ever before fathom.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for us here, we're definitely with our audience, the macro perspective, like to hear this must be the next level and things like that. I do apologize. Marcos messaged me here, just a quick emergency happening. We do apologize for that. But um, Kevin, I want to make sure that you get back to your training, you get back to everything. The time you blessed us with today, we had this here. I don't want to go too much more, but is there a specific ask or a specific thing that you'd like for the audience, to support you? Because I know trying to get you to Poland is going to be the important thing. So is there anything you'd like to ask the audience or like to leave them with, my man?
Yeah, just to tell the truth to themselves and everybody else around them and help bring up everybody and just stay positive. And yeah, I created a fundraiser because I quit my 9 to 5 2 months ago because I was working 40 hours a week carrying logs all day for my uncle's tree business, and I knew that I needed to be training 4 to 6 hours a day to make sure that I'm out training everybody else in the world for this world title. And since then, I've received a couple sponsorships and blessings from God, which have enabled me to be able to train full time and take care of myself financially. But yeah, I made a fundraiser, a GoFundMe or a Spot Fund, and it's the link is on my Instagram in my bio. So if anyone wants to help donate and help me accomplish this dream, I'll really appreciate all the support. And yeah, man, I'm so blessed, humble, and I know that I deserve it now because I'm finally out training the old Kevin Crane and everybody else that's entering this tournament. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that I deserve to win this year.
Yeah. Yeah, you will, man. You will. I already envision. I already see it the way you see it. You're. It's not even. It's this unstoppable force now. You've already created the momentum. You've done it. You've put everything in there. Now it's just kind of, as Marcos would say, kind of running that home run trot. So I appreciate that. And you guys listening on the pod, like, please support from from another wrestler, grapplers who to the audience. Like, it's a hard Spartan lifestyle when you don't have the finances coming the way you need to train. That's everybody in every sport, right? But I think grappling itself is still kind of like a baby child, and it doesn't get as much as love as it needs. So we do appreciate that, and we'll link everything in the show notes so that we can get you out there, and we'll share it and we'll make it happen, guys. Please take what Kevin said in this pod. I think this pod like fired me up. Like the mentality, the way you train, it just kind of shows me like the things that I want to do, the things that I need to do. And for anyone listening kind of in that combat space, or even not even in the combat space, just life itself, just listen to what Kevin said. Listen to this. I'm fired up. I'm dialed in. But guys, do me a favor, like, comment, share, subscribe. Show notes below. Other than that,